Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon in Los Angeles for tonight's big game between the Warriors and Lakers.
I'm Tony Kornheiser in my home, where I will be asleep before that game tips off. But I will eagerly check the score in the morning and my texts from you overnight. Yes. I will check them.
I'll be texting, but I got popcorn already. I'm ready to go.
Good.
I mean, it's not Garrett's, it's not caramel and cheddar, but I'm ready to go now across the street.
Well, go ahead. I can do the show alone. I can imitate your voice. It'll work. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Alexander Ovechkin scores again. Kevin Willard wants to move on. And a meetup of legends in Los Angeles tonight. Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Michael Ray Wilbon.
Yeah.
There we go. And we begin today with Shohei Ohtani hitting a walk-off home run last night to push the Dodgers record to 8-0. Coincidentally, it was Ohtani bobblehead night at Dodger Stadium. Wilbon, would you like to focus on that or the fact that the San Diego Padres, in the same division as the Dodgers, are off to a 7-0 start, the best in franchise history?
I don't care about bobblehead night, even though I know a lot of people here in Los Angeles right behind me did and do. I don't even care that Ohtani hit the walk-off because he'll probably have 3 or 4 more. I know it's only his second one in his career, both with the Dodgers. He'll have 3 or 4 more this year at least, and it's too early to get involved in individual heroics. What I care about is the National League West, Tony. The Dodgers and Padres being a combined 15-0, and the Giants right behind them at 5-1. Now, I know you cut your teeth, your baseball teeth, on, Dodgers, Giants before they both moved west. You were a little tot, but you remember what that was like. This is the next best thing, Tony. Dodgers and Padres, they've already split the last 2 playoff meetings. The Dodgers eliminated the Padres in 2024, but in 22, the Padres eliminated the Dodgers both in best-of-5 series. And now you got the Giants with Buster Posey as GM lurking. This is so cool, Tony. It could define a summer. I know it's a little off the I-95 path, and you'd rather have O's, Yankees, and O's, Yankees, and Red Sox.
Nats.
But I'm here. I like seeing these 3 teams, particularly Dodgers, Padres.
This is fine. We can certainly talk about the Padres. The Padres have been a playoff team. As you said, they lost last year 3-2 to the Dodgers, the eventual champions. At the moment, if my statistics are correct, they lead all of baseball in run differential with 25. They lead all of baseball in ERA with 1.57. They got Manny Machado. They got Xander Bogaerts. They got Fernando Tatis Jr. They got Luis Ariz. They just signed the kid, the center fielder, Jackson. Help me with his last name. Jackson Merrill. They just signed him to a long-term deal. So they are formidable. But, and there's always a but, do I think they're better than the Dodgers? No. Do I think they're as good as the Dodgers? No, I don't think they're as good as the Dodgers. Do I think they're as good as any other team in the National League, like the Phillies, like the Mets, like the Braves, if they ever get off the schneid? I do. But, Mike, I also think that the Dodgers are possibly historically good. And I'm not ready to say that about the Padres. Yeah, I'm not ready to say that.
Tony, the Dodgers may be a struggle, but you know what? Let's see it. The Padres think that they can go toe-to-toe with the Dodgers because they've done it and eliminated the Dodgers from the playoffs recently. So let's see it. I don't need to guess at it. I want to see it.
Not the championship team. They didn't eliminate the championship team.
No. Didn't win it most recently.
Good starters, too. They got Dylan Cease. They got Yu Darvish. They're a quality, high-quality team. But I'll tell you this, Mike. The Dodgers are 8-0, and they haven't started hitting yet. Their batting average is in the 230s in the middle of the pack. They haven't started hitting. So
it could define a summer. It'd be pretty darn cool. Let's move to Kevin Willard's comments on his contentious move from Maryland to Villanova. Willard said he thinks it's time for everyone who's upset with him to move on. He acknowledges he could have been less abrasive about everything while his team was still in the tournament, but he says he was advocating for more resources he figures to get at Villanova, as that school won't have to split new revenue sharing with a football team. Tony, do you find Willard's argument persuasive?
Resources is a great word. It means money. It should just say money, because that's what resources means.
Yes, that's what it is.
I find what he's doing a convenient rationale. He wants to be the basketball coach at a school where basketball is king. That's how it is in the Big East. They do not have consequential football teams in the Big East. And so he was out there playing footsie with Villanova when he should have been coaching his Maryland team with all of his energy because they were paying him. You know me. If I was a columnist still at the Washington Post, I would have written, there's the door, use it. And I would wonder why the chancellor at the University of Maryland, if the chancellor ever thought about firing this guy with cause. He's been in the Big East before at Seton Hall. He likes the Big East. He likes the spotlight on basketball coaches. I get that. But I'm not ready to say, Mike, I'm not ready to say that if you're a basketball coach at a football school, you're a chump. Our friend Digger Phelps had a pretty good career at a football school, Notre Dame. And right now there are two guys from the SEC, which is a football conference, from Auburn and Florida football schools, Bruce Pearl and Todd Golden, who've won a lot more games this year than Kevin Willard did. And they seem to have enough resources to get players to stay there.
Totally true, particularly what you said on the back end. First of all, though, Willard behaved like a jerk. And I'd like to use a 3-letter word instead of that 4-letter word, but I guess I can't on this fine program. But that's how he behaved. And until he owns it, I don't want to hear move on. People say move on when they don't want to own that they behaved like a loser. Right. Okay? And if I was at Maryland, and I know plenty of people at Maryland because I actually live there, who think he behaved like a loser. And he did. Okay, now, he's right about the resources, Tony, and people are dealing with this at schools. You know, I deal with my own in the Big Ten where, you know, the basketball coach is looking at the lion's share of NIL, of money, and they're coming from schools if this lawsuit is settled in that direction. They're going to lose out to football programs when it comes to the lion's share of whatever resources, money, goes to that school. So that's fact. And Digger Phelps didn't have to deal with that. He didn't have to compete in quite that way. So Willard, I get it. That's right. So just be above board about it. I mean, don't sit there and just first lie and then him and haw and then act like everybody else is at fault because you were a jerk at best. Yeah. At best, Tony. Like to go to the other word.
I hated the way he left. He left Maryland up the creek. I hope Buzz Williams does a better job than he did. And these sound to me pretty much like hollow rationalizations. But, you know, that's my opinion. Let's move to hockey. The NHL is going all in on Alex Ovechkin, who last night pulled within 3 goals of breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time record. The league plans to nationally televise all 7 of Ovechkin's remaining games this season, either on an ESPN outlet or Turner, or on the NHL Network. Additionally, there will be an Ovi-cast, concentrating on Ovechkin alone in the games ESPN and Turner will do. Wayne Gretzky, your friend Mike, is supposed to be at all those games. Gary Bettman, too. Wilbon, has the NHL now made the Ovechkin record chase a sufficient priority?
It's a priority. It's a priority. If you're going to take those kinds of resources and make sure we can see him, we can see Ovi, that's all there is. Is the league making him available to, you know, as many people as is reasonable?
That's right.
And the answer is yeah. So that's right. To me, I think this is very cool. Like, I'm not sure where I will be with the NBA playoffs going on when Ovi, you know, when he ends this. And I think, by the way, he could end it. Look, Tony, it'd be sort of cool if Ovi ended this against Pittsburgh in the final game of the season, scores a game winner, gives the Capitals the best record in hockey. That would be a cool story. But the Blackhawks, who are the next opponent, they're so bad. The next to worst defense in the league goes against. He could just get a hat trick against the Blackhawks and end all the suspense and all this need for following him around the league the rest of the way. He could do that against the Blackhawks. He could.
You must have been looking at my notes, because what I have said is the perfect ending is whenever it comes if he gets a hat trick, because it would be such a fantastic way to break the record with 3 goals in the same game. Look, I think I'm glad the NHL is doing this. I'm glad that they are trying to attract a national audience. I'm glad they're going to put all his games all across the country. I think he's earned that. I think it's a record. I think it's the Babe Ruth record of their league. I do. But I have a personal sort of a beef here. And that is that 3 of the 7 games are not going to be broadcast, television broadcast locally here where I am sitting in Washington, D.C., where people know him best. And this is the broadcast, as you know, with Joe Beninati and Craig Loughlin. You know,
Right.
I mean, they've done it for 25 years. They called almost every single goal he's ever made. And it would have no effect on the national broadcast. But I think that the NHL would be wise to let these guys make the call live. They're going to be calling the game anyway, but on archival reasons. So it's going to be for historic purposes, but not current purposes. I think they should lift that ban, Mike. I think they should let people who love them, love Beninati and Loughlin, you know, just watch
Tony,
the game and watch it locally.
There should be no ban. There are plenty of instances with baseball, but more often with the NBA, where you can get the local broadcast and whatever, Turner and ESPN are showing. I know, because I may go to it. If it's the Bulls, and God knows they haven't needed to be on national TV for a while, and I want to hear my man Stacey King, I can go to Chicago stream. You're saying that's not going to be available in live time.
As I understand this, in 3 of the games, it's not going to be available in live time, and I wish it would be. You know, Mike, sometimes you don't see the forest for the trees. The NHL should just step back and say, let them do it. It's okay. Let them do local as well. Let's take a break. But coming up, do the Warriors or the Lakers need tonight's game more?
And did Anthony Davis or Kawhi Leonard flashback?
It's time for toss-up. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, finishes the show, then putters around without purpose. Since it's 1 in 5, Nationals have an off night. They stink. What's first?
Toss-up. Which team needs tonight's game more, the Warriors or the Lakers?
Well, they both need it. I mean, the Lakers are currently in 3rd place in the West. If they win, they stay in 3rd. If they lose, they sort of endanger themselves of falling down to Denver in 4th. The Warriors are in 5th place, so if they win, they stay in 5th. And if they lose, then they get closer to that group, the group of 3 teams, right, Mike? Minnesota, the Clippers, and the Grizzlies, who all seem to be tied for 6, 7, and 8. So if the Warriors lose, they get closer to the play-in. In that regard, I think the Warriors may need it more to avoid the play-in. On the other hand, the Lakers, the rest of their schedule has been judged to be the 3rd toughest schedule in the NBA, and includes 2 games with Oklahoma City, a Houston game, a Dallas game. So maybe they need it more. My answer is I don't know. I'm not that smart.
But I wasn't even ready yet because I'm still eating my popcorn. I'm ready for the night. You know, Draymond Green was here yesterday visiting. He said, get some popcorn. I follow instructions. I got some popcorn. I'll try to stop eating for a second. You outlined this perfectly. By standing, the Warriors need the game more because they don't want to fall into play-in land. And they're 2 games closer to play-in land than the Lakers at this moment. But, Tony, what I want to see isn't, I know we get to that. That's the final. That's the bottom line. But I want to see who maybe got the bigger bump in the during-the-season deal, getting Luka or getting Jimmy Butler. And I believe Jimmy Butler is going to be all over Luka tonight, guarding him. I don't really think Draymond Green is going to be assigned. I don't think Steve Kerr is just going to put Draymond Green on LeBron. I don't think we're going to see as much of that. But, I mean, the whole Luka-Jimmy Butler thing, look, Jimmy Butler's a 2-way star when you get to the end of the season. Luka is one of the bright offensive lights in the history of the league, but going both ways, 2 ways, the other end of the court, not all that interested, and teams are targeting Luka on defense already. The Chicago Bulls did it successfully twice in a week. So I want to see how that unfolds and what the Lakers and Luka are going to do about it. Lots of intrigue in that.
What's next?
Toss-up. More noteworthy performance last night, Anthony Davis or Kawhi Leonard?
All right, so both teams won, right? Dallas beat Atlanta and the Clippers beat New Orleans. Anthony Davis, I'm going on my notes, had 34 points, shot 14 of 23, had 15 rebounds and 5 blocks in 30 minutes of play. Kawhi Leonard had 28 points on 11 of 18, had 3 rebounds, 2 steals in 38 minutes of play. Kawhi had a really good game. Anthony Davis had a significantly better game. I mean, I don't know that you can make any case for Kawhi Leonard because both teams won, and you got to go to the stats at that point. It doesn't really matter in the long term because they both get hurt all the time and they'll get hurt in the playoffs. But to me, it's Anthony Davis.
Yeah, it's Anthony Davis, Tony. But look, Kawhi Leonard's been the best player twice on a championship team. 2 different championship teams. And he's been the best player on a team that went to the finals 3 times. So if Kawhi Leonard is going to be Kawhi Leonard, and we don't know that, but if he's been dragging that leg around for 5 years plus, if he can be Kawhi Leonard even in the postseason alone, watch out. Whoever you play, Kawhi Leonard, again, he's been the best player on 2 different championship
But what about
teams.
last night? But last night it was Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis.
Right?
You're right.
Okay,
I agree.
thank you.
Anthony Davis, Tony, here's what's so more important about his performance to me. Anthony Davis could have shut it down. I mean, I'm sure people wanted to shut him down. Once that team was just so depressed and it didn't look like they could do anything, and Kyrie goes out, you could shut AD down, and he said, no. This team traded for me. This city needs this. I'm going to get out there. Anthony Davis played with noticeable fire last night. I'm going to say this, Tony, and this goes to back up something you said, although I know you were betting on Dallas with Kyrie, and they don't have that. If Anthony Davis is out there for the playoffs with the rest of the Dallas ensemble that still exists, they're going to be a problem for somebody in the first round. They will be.
Gets hurt. That's it. Let's take one last break. Still to come. Rafael Devers breaks his brutal slump.
And the NBA decides whether it's going to punish Ja and Buddy Hield for all that dueling finger gun action the other night.
37th birthday Brandon Graham. Graham just retired after playing 206 regular season games at defensive end for the Philadelphia Eagles, more games than any Eagle ever. Graham was with the Eagles his entire 15-year career after they drafted him 13th overall out of Michigan in 2010. Graham started 106 games in Philadelphia and made the Pro Bowl in 2020. He was on the Eagles' winning Super Bowl team in 2018 and had a famous strip sack of Tom Brady late in that game. This past season, Graham tore his triceps in Week 12, but came back to play 13 snaps in the Super Bowl where the Eagles demolished the Chiefs. Graham retore his triceps in that game, called it a career.
Tony, if you had asked me this question late last season, I would have told you the guy with the record had to be Harold Carmichael. Now, played 13 seasons, I believe, with the Eagles, and he had some 14-game seasons in there. He wasn't playing, 16 and 17 the whole while. So I still think it's comparable, but cheers to Mr. Graham.
Happy anniversary, Mario Lemieux. On this day 37 years ago, Lemieux won the NHL scoring title, thwarting Wayne Gretzky's bid to win his 9th straight. Lemieux had 70 goals and 98 assists for Pittsburgh. Gretzky had 40 goals and 109 assists for Edmonton, finishing second. Lemieux again won the scoring title the next year with 85 goals and 114 assists. Then Gretzky came back to win the next 2 scoring titles, and Lemieux came right back at him and won the following 2 before Gretzky won the year after that. So that's either Gretzky or Lemieux winning scoring titles over 15 straight seasons. And we bring this up because back then it would have seemed unthinkable anyone would pass Gretzky in goals, and Alex Ovechkin is perched to do so.
As cool as this Ovi thing is with the goal scoring, you got to remember, Wayne Gretzky probably could have scored another 150 goals. He just chose not to on his way to 1,900 assists, which is nearly 3 times as many assists as Ovechkin, as great as Ovechkin is. So scoring in hockey is not just goals, boys and girls. It's goals and assists. And that's where Gretzky just bubbles up to the top again. Sorry, Bob Ryan.
Happy trails to hitlessness for Rafael Devers. The Red Sox DH started the season 0 for 21 with 15 strikeouts. Then the 5th inning of last night's win over the Orioles, he hit an RBI double to right that put Boston up 3-0. Devers looked relieved as he stood on second base, and he followed it up with a single in the 8th and another one this afternoon. Also of note for the Red Sox last night, starting pitcher Garrett Crochet threw 8 innings for the first time in his career, just days after agreeing to a 6-year, $170 million extension, and said Crochet, quote, "I can't think of the last time I played baseball for pride. To have this security and feel like I'm playing to truly just win ball games takes a lot of the riffraff out of it," unquote.
I'm glad that he was out there for as many innings as he was, Tony. Maybe we're going in a new direction with that. Trending.
Big finish quickly. The NBA will not punish Ja Morant and Buddy Hield for their finger gun gestures at each other Tuesday night. Your thoughts?
Ja doesn't learn. But Buddy Hield's not been in any trouble. But Ja doesn't learn. The Patriots traded quarterback Joe Milton in the 7th to the Cowboys for a 5th. Your analysis?
I don't know what that means. Too deep in the weeds for me. 7th and 5th. The Heat beat the Celtics in Boston last night. You surprised?
No, Boston, the Celtics are sort of disinterested in playing at home. They're on a record pace on the road, and the Heat have also won 6 straight, so no, not a surprise. The U.S. will reportedly land the Women's World Cup in 2031. Is that a big deal?
Yeah, we often win it, and it's a great television rating number. Last one, the Sixers will reportedly shut down Tyrese Maxey due to a finger tendon issue. Your reaction to that? They got nobody.
From soup to nuts, it's been a disaster for the Sixers. That was their opening night. It just continues.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the channel. If you made it this far, you have made it to your sports moment. I am your host, S. Dot, and let's get right into it. So, it looks like one of the topics. What are you more interested in? The 8-0 Dodgers or the 7-0 Padres? I'll take the 8-0 Dodgers. Enough said about that. And I mean, you know what I'm saying. I mean, Dodgers is dope. You know what I'm saying? They ball out. You know what I'm saying. The Padres was nice too. You know what I'm saying. But I'll take the 8-0 Dodgers over the 7-0 Padres any day. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But let's get to the main topic, right? So we got Dak Prescott out here. You know what I'm saying? People saying he should be worried about the Cowboys trade for Joe Milton. Let me just say, Dak should have been worried anyway, for the simple fact that, you know, he's not clutch in the playoffs. I mean, your boy hasn't played a full 16 games in the last 3 years because, you know, due to injury. I mean, Dak Prescott is getting older. He 30, 33, 34? I think he's somewhere around that number, I want to say. If not, let me know in the comments. Y'all can correct me. You know what I'm saying? You Dallas fans, let me know out there, you know what I'm saying, how old your boy Dak is. But yeah, I mean, Dak should have been worried from the beginning. I mean, you got an owner who likes to talk after every game and be the face of the team. You know what I mean? You got an owner who don't just like making money behind the scenes, but an owner who likes to make a scene, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? From behind. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. But your boy Dak Prescott, man. I mean, you should have known this was going to come. I mean, Micah Parsons still hasn't signed his contract. You got them picking up people like Joe Milton. You know what I'm saying? And this is just what the Cowboys do. They make their players wait. I mean, I feel like Jerry Jones, he's always keeping the door open for something better than what he has. No matter if what he has is top notch, is legendary talent. You know what I'm saying? In Micah Parsons. You know what I'm saying? You got an owner who has a podcast after you know what I'm saying, after every game. You know what I mean? So he can talk. So he can be the face of the team. So he owns the team, but he doesn't carry the same persona that all other owners carry, which is very different. But this is a distraction. This is part of why the Dallas Cowboys cannot and will not win a Super Bowl until Jerry Jones passes away, or until Jerry Jones hands the reins over to someone other than Stephen Jones. Because I'm telling you, Stephen Jones, he's nothing but a puppet. He's going to do the exact same thing his father did once he gets the reins. He's not going to do anything different, for the simple fact he knows nothing different. You know what I'm saying? He's never had the opportunity to make a decision on his own. Everything he does and say and puts into play is straight out of the horse's mouth, in being Jerry Jones. So yeah, anybody who plays for Dallas should understand. Just like Lawrence said, you will never win a championship in Dallas. Not right now, not in the future, because of Jerry Jones. And because they don't focus on winning. They focus on making money. Now, ain't nothing wrong with making money, you feel me? I love making money, you feel me? Oh yeah, by the way, don't forget to hit that like, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on them notifications. We do post a video every day to keep your boys and your girls updated on what's going on around the world of sports. Back to it though. But yeah, I mean, you gotta understand, with those distractions coming into Dallas, you understand that you are very marketable. You will make your money outside of Dallas, but you won't make your money playing ball. But that being said, I'm basically saying you will get all of the perks and the plus sides to being a Dallas Cowboy in the media, on TV, with your own podcast, with your own brand, with their brand, with selling your jersey, stuff like that. But you won't make a lot of money. But you won't make a lot of noise in the Super Bowl, in the playoffs, having a good record. I mean, every single year it's the same with the Cowboys. Now you gotta understand, I am a Philadelphia Eagle fan. Go Birds. You know what I mean? We've been in the Super Bowl twice in the last 5 years, with 1 win, 1 loss. We got 2 championships in the millennium. So we got 2 millennium rings. Now, with that being said, let me know how y'all feel in the comments, Dallas Cowboys. And my Philadelphia Eagle fans. Come back your boy up. Get in the comment section and let them boys and girls know, you know what I mean, where we coming from. You feel me? Because Philly, we ain't going nowhere. Look, they hate us so much. You got the Green Bay Packers out here trying to ban a play instead of trying to figure how to work it best for their own team. You got squads out here in Green Bay Packers trying to get a play banned because it works so well for us. Because we've gotten it down to the nitty gritty, just, you know, the expertise of how we can perfect the play and make it work for us. We spent time, money, and effort into making this play work for us. But instead of doing that for your own squad, Green Bay Packers, you'd rather run to the principal's office and have the principal take the play out of the curriculum, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? So instead of manning up, rallying your team behind you, putting money down on the table and figuring out how to get it done, because last time I checked, the Green Bay Packers is one of them old teams that got them old championships. You feel me? The Packers have been around forever, specifically with the Lombardi Trophy being named after their past coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, you boys ain't got enough history to understand that running this ain't gonna get you nowhere in today's NFL. You gotta put the money on the table and the grind on the gridiron, and you gotta make it happen for your own squad. You understand me? So appreciate you guys making it this far. Like I said, I'm your host S. Dot. Come back and check us out. We do post a video every day. And peace. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and please leave a comment. Peace.